I have friends personally that didn't always believe in everything that Braunvieh had to offer.
But at the end of the day, we need to be able to turn it out in the pasture and it do its job.
You know, they were just blowing our cattle out of the water.
Braunvieh cattle work in Mississippi.
Coming up, versatility and viability of the Braunvieh breed, next on The American Rancher. Hello and welcome to The American Rancher. I'm Pam Minnick. This week we've got another great story featuring Braunvieh cattle, and we're going to talk to a number of producers that are seeing firsthand why Braunvieh are known as a balanced breed, possessing body conformation for optimum physiological performance. These characteristics the Braunvieh possess demonstrate the versatility and viability of Braunvieh cattle in a unique package. From two sisters out in Mississippi who believe in the temperament, disposition, and overall production of the Braunvieh cow, to another youth exhibitor who has studied the traits and quality of the Braunvieh bull. We'll also be joined by a producer who knows the Braunvieh breed is what it will take to take him to the next level as a producer, especially in the southern region of the United States. That's our show today, and we're glad you joined us, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The Texas Braunvieh Association is a nonprofit organization of volunteers dedicated to promoting the Braunvieh breed. This promotion is primarily accomplished through an established junior program. Activities include cattle shows, judging clinics, public speaking events, as well as many others. The Texas Braunvieh Association is a 501c5 organization that also has a 501c3 scholarship program in place. Learn more at www.texasbraunvieh.org. The addition of quality Braunvieh genetics can be a game changer for your herd's bottom line. Find those premium genetics at the 16th annual Herd Builder Braunvieh Female Sale on November 3rd at Marshall Junction, Missouri. You'll find 60 lots including pairs, bred cows, bred and open heifers, and show prospects. See more information at brinkbraunvieh.com or call 620-583-5226 for details on this sale of premium genetics.
Welcome back to The American Rancher. The O'Neill sisters have two different takes on their first experience with Braunvieh cattle and the impact it's had on their herd. Emma is more interested in the show ring than Erica. She still understands the importance of the Braunvieh influence in their pasture and their overall influence it has on their herd.
I've grown up in Suntoby, Mississippi. That's where I've lived my whole life. We live in a little hole in the woods, and everybody thinks they get lost, and we're like a little paradise back here. We have our cows, we compete locally, we compete nationally. It's usually a pretty long haul from Mississippi to go to a Braunvieh show. Whenever we got the Braunvieh heifer and fell in love with her, we decided we wanted a Braunvieh bull, and the current cattle we had were registered Angus, registered Hereford, and our Braefords. So we bred her to our first Braunvieh bull, and that was our first Braunvieh calf that we actually had. But breeding him to everything else, we started with half-bloods, and I think that's why we're so passionate about the Braunviehs, because we got to see them grow, and like the more Braunvieh we get in calves, the more we realize their influence that they have and the positive aspects they add to them.
My very first Braunvieh heifer we purchased from a man that lives around the road from us, Wayne Smith. He always, told us that a Braunvieh bull would be the way to go with the holes that we were trying to fill in the herd that we had at the time. We were just kind of set on what we were doing, even though he really tried to persuade us. And one day he just happened to end up with a Braunvieh heifer and said, you know, why don't y'all just come take a look at her? And I looked at her, and she was beautiful, and I was sold, and we brought her home because she was beautiful. We fell in love with her, and then we found the Wolkins down in Mendenhall, and my dad went and looked at their operation and what they had going on there, and from there we bought a bull, ran him with the cows, and we were sold ever since. They really filled the holes that we knew that we had in our herd. The value that we have seen from adding the Braunvieh bull into our herd, with our commercial cows, with our Angus cows, you know, whatever we have, we do have a good mixture in the pasture. But with all of them, they've added value to what we do because we're small. You know, like I said, we have about 50 head in the pasture, and whenever we sell our cows, historically we've always just taken them to the sell barn. You know, growing up, that's what we did. But as we've added the Braunvieh to our herd, the heifers that they produce are just, you know, they really can go to work for you. And so that's added profitability to what we do because we don't have to just take them to the sell barn and turn them over from there. We're able to keep them a little longer and then sell them as replacement heifers to other people and keep them in our herd. We started trying to keep some of the heifers that we had gotten from our first cows that we bred to the Braunvieh bull, and it's just added so much ease to what we do because, like we've said a million times, they're so maternal, they raise good calves. So the ones that we keep, they're performing for us, but we're also selling them to our neighbors that see how well they're performing for us. And it's, you know, something that a lot of people should look for in their herd.
We've showing Brayford cows, we dealt with a lot of attitude problems, but I think that's common with anybody that shows Brahman. And most people don't believe us now, but since we started with the Braunvieh, we don't have to halter break them. They're, like you saw in our pasture, they're all pets. You can walk up and put a halter on any of them. Our calves, they've never been messed with. Like, they're in the pasture growing. They're not on feed. They're not messed with every day. And they'll walk up and let us love on them and pet them.
Sure.
Whenever I started showing the heifer, everybody questioned what she was or where we'd get her, but they were always like stunned by she was good enough to compete with everything else. They didn't know what she was, but she was good enough to stand her ground in the show ring. She had the maternal, she had the bone, she had the structure, everything else had, and put it all together and looked like a heifer. She was still feminine, and she competed really well.
For a commercial herd, you know, you want to be able to put them in the pasture and then produce. That is bottom line, that's the goal, that's what we're going for. We love getting to show the cows and things like that, but we don't want to show a cow, especially what you invest in those cows, over just the ones that you turn out in the pasture. We don't want to invest that time, that money, and then come home and just, you know, have a skeleton standing there that you can't do anything with. After putting that into them, we need them to come home and produce. Yeah. And that's what we're always looking for.
I think at the rate we're going now that we're not going to get away from the Braunvieh anytime soon. We like the cattle, and we've become real close with a lot of the people that we've met, and farms get together and we try to help each other and mix bloodlines and do this and do that just to improve the breed. And I feel like we're becoming a foundation of it that there's not many of in the South.
I think in the Braunvieh cattle, the number one thing that draws us to them is just their maternal features and the way that you can turn them out in the pasture and they'll do their job. I think I mentioned to you earlier, you know, we all have full-time jobs here. Raising the cattle it's something that we're very passionate about, but it's not something that we can tend to 24 hours a day. We do as much as we can and work hard to raise the good cattle, but at the end of the day, we need to be able to turn it out in the pasture and it do its job. And the Braunvieh cattle have really brought that to the table and done that for us.
The Braunvieh cattle have really made a difference in the show ring and in the pasture for the O'Neills. The physical characteristic that this breed is rapidly becoming noted for are the carcass traits that are needed to carry the beef industry into the next century. Coming up, we hear from Dr. Matthew Garcia on why that is. And we hear from a producer who believes that Braunvieh cattle put it all together: maternal, muscling, marbling, and performance. We've got more on our Braunvieh story when the American Rancher returns. Stay with us.
J. Bar Braunvieh believes efficiency and fertility are the most important traits in the herd. With their good partner Circle C Ranch, J. Bar Braunvieh is now offering performance-tested bulls in volume supply ready for service. These are range-ready, hard-footed bulls that work for ranchers in big, rough country. Outstanding females are also now available. J. Bar Braunvieh provides cattle that work for you.
Give your back a vacation with ManSaver Post Driver. Install fences in hours, not days. Compressed air mobilizes the ManSaver up and down to drive posts up to 3.5 inches in diameter. The ManSaver Post Driver is 10 times faster than driving posts by hand, so you can create or repair fences at a fraction of the cost of hiring a fencing crew.
It's worth its weight in gold to me. It was a lifesaver.
Order your ManSaver Post Driver at 800-980-7599 or click mansaverpostdriver.com.
A bull with the right genetics will produce calves that wean heavier and the right kind of replacement females. Quality genetics put you in a better position to profit whether the market is up or down. So whether you're looking for black or traditional colored, performance-tested or more economical untested bulls, Diamond H Braunvieh bulls are the result of selective breeding for the traits that make you money. To learn more about the Braunvieh breed and see the bulls we have available and ready to go to work, log on to our website, blackbraunvieh.com.
Welcome back to the American Rancher. If you simply built your beef program objectively, without concern for any status quo marketing, you would likely base it on the straight performance traits that put money in your pocket. Braunvieh genetics bring producers a base that they can work with, and with good management, develop a set of cattle that are efficient, adaptable, grow, and will grade and yield well at finish.
My background as a geneticist, I actually did a master's in New Mexico State in genetics, did a PhD in Washington State in genetics. Then I actually went on to US Mark in Clay Center, Nebraska, and that's where I kind of started my carcass genetics, disease genetics work while I was a postdoc there. So I was there for 2 years, and our main focus was trying to correlate the genetics of BRD, pink eye, foot rot, with carcass quality and yield in some cattle up there. And the unique thing up there was that the cattle we were using up there was the GP8 population, which was the tropically adapted Bos Taurus group, which was like F1 Beefmaster, F1 Brangus, F1 Romo Sinuano, F1 Bonsamara. Well, the unique thing was when I went to LSU, that was the same crossbred herd I was using for my research down there. So I had, a different environment, same breed types of cattle. And one of the reasons we started doing BRD research down there was when I got down there, the cattle had already been bred for another project to some Angus cows, or Angus bulls. And, I was kind of wanting to continue some of that genetics research that I had done on the carcass side, and we're retaining ownership of these cows, or these calves going to the feedlot. And we had just a train wreck of BRD that year. And carcass quality, really suffered as well. We had some problems. So I was really looking at, how can we look at this from an applied standpoint, improve our productivity in the feedlot, improve our disease resistance without sacrificing, carcass, feedlot, feed efficiency, things like that. And like I talked a little bit about previously, my herdsman had that herd that he'd been using Braunvieh bulls on. And Mike Canal, he's one of these herdsmen that has probably forgot more about cattle than most people know in their entire lives. So he'd been using this, and he kind of was just kind of doing it. It was a revenue to kind of keep his, his accounts up and everything. And we're running these cattle through, and they're just different than ours. Stockier, different shape. And he would send, some of his calves up. Didn't send his females, which I figured out why later on. But he would send his steer calves up to the feedlot with ours and load, and they always made it through the feedlot process. They always graded, high choice. Their feed efficiency was great. They were just blowing our cattle out of the water.
Dr. Matthew Garcia has done his research and has the scientific evidence to back it up. Producer Stacy Broadhead has seen the results the Braunvieh breed has provided, and that's enough evidence within itself. The adaptability to help the carcass side of Brahman cattle and using them for maternal side as well is something he knows is advancing his herd in today's beef industry.
We're a cow-calf operation, and we send a pretty good many of our animals to the feedlot in Oklahoma. We retain ownership all the way through, and we've done really well over the years doing that. Even with the Brahman influence, we felt like it's worked out for us. We've dealt with Angus crosses, and we've dealt with some Braunvieh crosses and some Hereford crosses, and we just feel like we are able to grow an animal that fits our environment. You need to produce an animal that's ready to go when it leaves here, that's been backgrounded, that's had its shots, that's been well cared for from conception on through the time you load them on the truck. And we try to stay on top of our vaccinations. And then you need an animal that's ready to go when he loads off the truck. And so by the time he leaves here, he's pretty well acquainted with bunk feeding and automated waters. And when he gets off that truck, we want him primed and ready to go. We are on a grid program. We own the calves, cattle, steers all the way through. And we get paid for how they hang, not how they look, but how they hang. And we've done really well with that. We know that week in and week out, whenever we sell, that we're competing with cattle from all over the United States. And we feel like it's our job to put forward the best product that we know how to do. And we try to stay on top of the better genetics. And we know that if we don't, that we're probably slipping against our competition. And we felt like we've had a little success there over the years dealing with these genetics. In fact, we were at the feedlot a few weeks ago, and even the feedlot manager brought up Braunvieh influenced animals, thinking that would help me out just a little bit on my marbling. And as far as retention heifers, we're just real happy to have those animals, knowing that they're going to play a part of our program in the future, knowing that they're going to be the mama cow that we think is going to really help us get us to that next level. This is the one point that we're trying to even get our Brahman herd maybe to have more capacity. And you're seeing maybe more cattle now that's more linear than deep and thick and spring of rib. And when you catch that Braunvieh animal, you seem to get more of that. There's more of a dynamic impact, and you can call it guts or however you want to call it, but it's that deep, broad, spring of rib animal that you can really look at and say, she's got a lot of capacity. She's got a lot of room there to work with. I think there's just too many good qualities there just to throw a blind eye to that breed. We've kind of looked at it and just felt like, it would help us. And I think we're a lot like other breeders. Anytime you can go out and pick up a piece of the puzzle and bring to your herd, it sure doesn't hurt to try. I think if they try it, they'll like it, so to speak.
When we return, another young producer involved in the youth program of the Braunvieh breed tells why he believes they are the future. We've got more on our Braunvieh story when we return. You're watching The American Rancher.
Join us for the 2018 Barber Ranch Herefords Annual Bull Sale. Wednesday, November 14th at San Saba, Texas. Over 100 registered horned and polled Hereford bulls will be offered, along with 50 registered Angus bulls from Express Ranches. Barber Ranch genetics are renowned for high performance, excellent maternal traits, and cattle that perform in the pasture. The sale begins at 11 a.m. Central at the Jordan Cattle Auction and will also be broadcast through Superior on the Cowboy Channel and Click to Bid. Visit barberranch.com for more details and to view the online catalog and cattle videos.
If you're in the stocker business, you know exceptional care and good nutrition are the keys to healthy, profitable cattle. The Gain Smart Stocker program provides all the tools you need to minimize stress at receiving, stimulate appetite quickly, and create efficient gains on forage or feed. Plus, feeding Gain Smart makes your cattle eligible for Superior's first ever value-added nutrition program. Learn more about the Gain Smart Stocker program and find a dealer near you at gainsmart.com.
Welcome back to the American Rancher. The juniors are the future of the Braunvieh breed. Caden Pfeiffer is one example how understanding the benefits and aspects of the breed can really benefit the industry as a whole. As a junior, he also understands his role and the importance of being an advocate for the industry. As the JBAA mission statement goes, the Junior Braunvieh Association of America strives to provide junior cattlemen from across the United States a platform to increase cattle industry knowledge and gain management experience while networking with peers. The overwhelming goal of the organization is to ensure that there will be an enthusiastic and educated group of young people to take on leadership roles within the cattle industry for years to come.
As a family, this was all originally started by my father. This was his passion. And I didn't realize up until a certain age that this is a part of something of my life that I would enjoy as well. My upbringing through this family and with Braunvieh has been one that I can't simply put words to. It's something that I feel like most kids should be exposed to. Being able to care for these animals, being able to take upon the responsibility these animals put on us. And this has left an effect with my siblings as well, and they've had to go through the same processes that I have had. And this is something that without it, I don't think there's many factors in life I could have accomplished without it. My experiences that I've dealt with the National Junior Braunvieh Association is it's a somewhat formal organization, but they're very open to bringing in new ideas and new aspects into it, because it is fairly new in terms of that. But we like to take different things we like to adapt to and make it our own. Braunvieh is really good about using all of the best traits and putting them together into one animal. If you have a really good bull that you want to put with a really good heifer, Braunvieh is the way to go. I mean, especially with Angus. Angus is really a good breed to mix in with these, because they're typically known as one of the more better producing animals carcass-wise, and the Braunvieh animals only raise that to a higher degree. You're not going to produce a worse cow from a Braunvieh animal. It doesn't happen. So if anything, it's one of those animals you need to be using, because it does, if anything, increase the quality of your herd itself. I find the Braunvieh Bull Project is very interesting. It's like somebody who comes in and they're very passionate about their job, and they know their stance. Braunvieh bulls themselves, they do serve as that very masculine figure within the herd, and they take care of the herd. I know several years ago, I think between us and the neighbors, the two animals got mixed in, but the Braunvieh bull, I tell you what, he knew his females were, and he tried to separate both herds. So that's very special about the Braunvieh, because they're very specific about their herd, and they don't want to have any outsiders in, so that's pretty cool. They adapt very well to any climate that they're in, and terrain's a big part of that too. I mean, they can, with any terrain or any environment that they're in, they can go there and they can not only produce well, but they can also thrive. I have friends personally that didn't always believe in everything that Braunvieh had to offer, but now that they've been around it more, and they have a better understanding of what the breed has to give, there is more people that are more open to the idea that they are becoming a more mainstream breed and that they have a lot to offer.
Thanks to all of our guests for a great show. The female Braunvieh influence on carcass traits is something that producers are finding value in, and the industry as a whole is recognizing. Now is a great time to invest in your cow herd by investing in the Braunvieh breed. For more information about these cattle, their programs, and the juniors, which are the future of the breed, visit braunvieh.org. That's all the time we have today. To find out more about us, visit us online at theamericanrancher.com or connect with us on Facebook. I'm Pam Minnick. For the entire American Rancher team, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
That was superior.